This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it
Shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I'm Bishop William Byrne, inviting you to radiate the light of Christ by making a gift to the annual Catholic Appeal. The ministries and agencies supported with your generosity help thousands of our neighbors throughout Western Massachusetts. The annual Catholic Appeal unites us in the mission to help meet the physical, spiritual, and sacramental needs of our brothers and sisters and to grow our church. Please donate to the annual Catholic Appeal. Join me in radiating the light of Christ and be a force for hope and love in the world. On behalf of the people we serve, thank you.
Let it
Shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
People gathered at the Elms to learn more about the pastoral response to addiction. I'm Carolee McGrath. I'll have the story coming up.
I'm Steve Kiltonic. The Pope Francis hockey team is returning to the Division I state title game after upsetting number 1 St. John's Prep. I'll have the highlights and preview of the Cardinals' upcoming game against Bavaria.
And I'll visit some local food pantries to see how the end of the special COVID-19 SNAP funds has impacted their ability to provide assistance to families dealing with food insecurity. These stories and a musical memory of a beloved diocesan priest.
Just a simple
It's all coming your way next on Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel to Reel. As this weekend we continue celebrating St. Patrick's Day with festivities across Western Massachusetts. And as part of this annual commemoration, individuals and groups are honored for their contributions to the community. One of the main qualifiers for the 2023 Hibernian Christian Charity Award is that the recipient truly seeks to improve the lives of others. The woman who received this year's award, Brenda LaMagdalene, is a longtime employee of Providence Ministries for the Needy. Her work has positively impacted the lives of many Holyoke families and individuals over the years. Steve Kiltonic spoke with the winner and discovered that her success in a favorite hobby also put Brenda in the world record book.
Brenda LaMagdalene wears many hats at Providence Ministries for the Needy, where she's been employed for the past 17 years. As manager of Margaret's Food Pantry, she makes sure families, up to 30 or more a day, have enough food on their table for the week.
I maintain everything, make sure everything's all set on the shelves. I do all the ordering for it, tons of paperwork. I take care of all the information that is needed for our Human Resources Department to get all the grants and everything like that.
Brenda also manages St. Jude's Thrift Store, which provides clothing and small household furnishings at a nominal cost. In addition, she runs programs during the year around the holidays like Kids for Christmas.
I do Easter baskets from Marcraft Ford every Easter. We pass them out to the families. We do back to school supplies for all the families in the area that are in need. And also when there's a fire in the city of Holyoke, I get a phone call and I go to the scene and I respond and help all the families in the fire.
With 1 paid staff and 3 to 4 volunteers, Brenda and her team are busy nonstop throughout the week.
I call us the Black Knight of Holyoke because we do so much in our community, not just myself, but our whole entire organization.
Over the years, there's always been a need for food assistance, but when COVID hit, her job was made much more difficult.
It was probably the toughest time I've ever had to deal with working for Providence Ministries. We had to get rid of all of our volunteers. Every food donation that came through, we had to sterilize. It was a lot of work. The lines were astronomical because they were upset and worried too. They couldn't get meat and they couldn't get certain things in a grocery store. It was really very, very, very difficult, very emotional, physically difficult.
After COVID, things got better, but even now, trying to keep food on the shelves, especially with supply chain issues ongoing, Brenda said her job remains challenging.
I try to serve all my clients with a smile as best as I can because no matter how I look at it, somebody out there has it worse than I do.
Despite the difficulties her job presents, Brenda wouldn't trade it for anything.
I love my job. Don't tell my boss, but I do. I absolutely love the fact that I'm able to help people that need it.
On March 12th, Brenda was presented with the Hibernian Christian Charity Award for helping to improve the lives of others in Hampden and Hampshire counties. She received the award at the Hibernian Breakfast held at Wyckoff Country Club.
She's an angel in our midst. I just can't say enough about her, and such a giving person, and a great representative of the Providence Ministries and Holyoke, and always there for the needy, and I'm grateful to honor her.
Attending the breakfast were members of Brenda's family, friends, and co-workers from Providence Ministries for the Needy.
She truly embodies the spirit and the mission of Providence Ministries. What she does is not easy. You're very typically in our line of work not seeing people at their best, and she navigates the line between compassion, empathy, charity. She really is one in a million, and am very proud of her for getting this award today.
While the Hibernian Award recognizes Brenda for her achievements in the community, her success in candlepin bowling has put her in the world record book. Twice a week, you can usually find Brenda at Agawam Bowl. She's been bowling candlepins for 47 years and started at the age of 7.
Candlepin bowling is the hardest sport out of all three of them, out of duck pin and 10 pin. Candlepin's got skinny pins and small balls. Gotta be pretty accurate to get a strike, or pretty lucky.
Brenda's been an excellent bowler much of her life and won many tournaments, but April 1st, 2001 was special. On that April Fool's Sunday, Brenda was bowling mixed doubles in a city tournament at the now closed Fun Time Lanes in Holyoke.
I was frustrated because of the fact of bowling so well that, I threw a nice ball the whole entire week and I just didn't score.
However, luck soon changed for Brenda, the reigning Women's League champion.
I rolled a 143 for the first game, and then we moved our lanes, and then magic happened.
In the second game, from the second through fourth frames, Brenda rolled 3 straight strikes, extremely difficult in candlepin.
It wasn't until like the 7th box that I realized that the whole bowling alley pretty much stopped bowling, and then I just got told by my partner to keep calm.
By then, Brenda broke her own personal best of 162 and set a new house record with a 187 when she entered the 10th and final frame. After she bowled a strike, then spare, Brenda had set a new women's single-game candlepin world record, a 207.
When I was told I broke a world record, I was like, yeah, I beat the house record, and it took a couple times before someone realized to tell me that I was actually a world record. That whole week was reeling with all kinds of people. I had 94.7 contact me at my house. I had a Hall of Fame send me information, so I sent them my bowling shoe and a bowling ball and a shirt, and it just was a whirlwind. It was crazy.
Her 207 has, thus far, withstood the test of time for 22 years. Despite injuries and inevitable age, Brenda continues to bowl in the adult league and tournaments. And she doesn't have any plans to retire her bowling shoes just yet.
I really attested to a lot of my bowling friends. I consider them my second family. We go there, have a good time, it's good exercise. I just enjoy the company and the sport and the people that I do it with.
At Providence Ministries, people are proud of Brenda, the Margaret's Pantry manager, and Brenda, the bowling champion. As the Hibernian Award recipient, Brenda will march in the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade. Her family, many of her friends, and co-workers plan to be there as well to cheer her on. For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonick.
Brenda will be making her way through the streets of Holyoke tomorrow as part of the St. Patrick's Parade. And also marching will be the John Fitzgerald Kennedy National Award recipient, Lenny Jacobson, an alumni of Holyoke's Blessed Sacrament School and Holyoke Catholic High School. The actor is featured in Apple TV's hit series For All Mankind. And in other news, one of the challenges facing human service providers like Brenda LaMagdalene is the recent cutback in COVID-19 SNAP benefits, causing greater demand on local food pantries.
Families they're in a panic. This is a significant amount of benefits that they're losing.
A pandemic-era program that provided extra payments to Americans who qualify for food stamps ended March 1st, causing concern nationally and locally about how low-income individuals and families will put food on the table. Krista McClintock, executive director of Springfield's Gray House, says the agency is already feeling the impact an unprecedented amount of families lining up for groceries. Last week on Thursday, a line of cars starting at 9 a.m. and not stopping until distribution ended at noon. Afterwards, the pantry was nearly bare.
For us, I just want to make sure that if people need our help, we can continue to serve them and provide them with nutritious food and to make them feel welcome here, because it's very hard for a lot of these families, especially new families, who again haven't necessarily needed to utilize our services, to come for help. It's really hard for them to say, I might be working 1 or 2 jobs, I still can't afford to feed my family.
During the pandemic, Congress permitted states to issue extra money to food stamp recipients under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, a move advocates said would help low-income families who lost their jobs amid the crisis. But the emergency response was temporary. The average eligible household will lose $95 a month for groceries, according to an analysis by the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities. All coming at a time when the prices of many common grocery items remain high due to inflation that has reduced the purchasing power of American families, with the price of basics such as eggs or wheat driving up other costs. At Lorraine's Soup Kitchen and Pantry in Chicopee, a similar story. Executive Director Kim Case anticipates an increase in people needing food at the pantry and its mobile unit.
So far this month, we've had 15 new people come in, families, which isn't a lot, but I anticipate that it's going to get a lot higher. You know, it's going to be difficult for them because of the cut, but it's also going to be difficult for us, you know, having to provide more food to more families.
And Case says some who may need the extra assistance are unsure of where to turn, like one recently retired woman who came to Lorraine's mobile food site at the Chicopee Library.
We just said, please come over, we'll help you, you know. And she just felt bad doing it because it's something that she's never had to do in her life before. And, you know, she's just newly retired, and it was just heartbreaking knowing that she just retired and she's worried about getting groceries.
More than 638,000 households in Massachusetts receive SNAP benefits. 1/3 include someone over the age of 60. Nearly half have a family member with a disability. 1 in 4 include school-age or younger children. And one way you can help your local neighbors who are facing food insecurity is by making a donation to the 2023 Annual Catholic Appeal. Your financial gift stays local, helping people at all life's crossroads. Please consider making your 2023 contribution. You can do so right now by clicking on the link found at diospringfield.org. And we thank you so much in advance for your generosity. And still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel, the Pope Francis Cardinals hockey team prepares to take to the ice at TD Garden in pursuit of a state championship. Steve Kiltonick will return with their story. And we'll remember a much-beloved Holyoke priest on this parade weekend. It's all still ahead on Reel to Reel.
Like Catholic TV on Facebook. Once you're there, you can join in on discussions, make friends with other Catholic TV fans, watch behind-the-scenes videos from the studio,
just finished this today,
and stay up to date with the Catholic world. All this at facebook.com/CatholicTV.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I'm Bishop William Byrne, inviting you to radiate the light of Christ by making a gift to the Annual Catholic Appeal. The ministries and agencies supported with your generosity help thousands of our neighbors throughout Western Massachusetts. The Annual Catholic Appeal unites us in the mission to help meet the physical, spiritual, and sacramental needs of our brothers and sisters and to grow our church. Please donate to the Annual Catholic Appeal. Join me in radiating the light of Christ and be a force for hope and love in the world on behalf of the people we serve Thank you. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hope was the central theme at the all-day symposium on addiction last Saturday at Our Lady of the Elms College in Chicopee. The program, Addiction in a Post-COVID World, a Pastoral Response, featured talks by experts in the field and a personal testimony by Scott Wieman, the founder of Catholic in Recovery, a nonprofit based in California that supports parishes and communities. As Carolee McGrath now reports, Wieman found healing through a 12-step program and his Catholic faith.
Lord, you give us the example of Venerable Matt Talbot as a man who seemed completely lost and beyond your grace.
Bishop William Burns started off the morning with prayer and a mention of the Venerable Matt Talbot at the all-day symposium on addiction held at Our Lady of the Elms College in Chicopee last weekend. Talbot is the patron of men and women struggling with alcoholism. The program at the Elms, Addiction in a Post-COVID World, a Pastoral Response, featured talks by experts in the field and a personal testimony by Scott Wieman, the founder of Catholic in Recovery, a nonprofit based in California which supports parishes and communities. Wieman found healing through a 12-step program and his Catholic faith.
A message of hope, really giving a solution, and also sharing about how really the process of recovery, 12-step addiction recovery, is very similar to the sacramental life of the Catholic Church. So seeing some similarities there and just giving people an outlet and a place to find new life.
Other panelists included Deacon David Bergeron and Sister of St. Joseph Melinda Pellerin, who was trained in addiction counseling. Sister Pellerin was married before she entered the congregation and used to attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings with her late husband.
I was an educator at the time. How many teachers that I saw in these AA meetings, which I began to think about addiction as it's a problem that affects any branch, any family, it doesn't, economic situations, it doesn't matter.
The symposium was sponsored by the Diocese of Springfield and the College of Our Lady of the Elms. Celeste Labby, the director of the Office of Faith Formation, was one of the organizers. She lost her nephew a few years back to a fentanyl overdose.
He had disclosed to his parents that he was dealing with an addiction issue and forbid them to speak about it. So imagine our surprise when we got the telephone call that he had passed away of a fentanyl overdose in his bathroom, all alone. And it took several days before they found his body. And it was all a shock.
Dr. Wayne Gavrick, who is board certified in addiction medicine and is affiliated with Bay State Franklin Hospital, also gave a presentation, as did State Senator John Velas. Most people think of addiction in terms of drug use and alcohol use, but some people in attendance are very much concerned about social media and the impact it has on our young people. Luke Hallwadell, the Dean of Academics at St. Mary's High School in Westfield, says he's concerned about the grip social media has on teenagers and the implications made worse by the lockdowns.
What I'm hoping is to figure out how to help my students heal. That doesn't happen without grace. That doesn't happen except through Jesus.
In fact, a few presenters spoke of the impact believing in a higher power has on recovery.
Also, as we've learned today, the most successful encounters with recovery are people that do so within a faith context. So the more we are bolstered in this way to recognize without judgment that this is not a decision that people make, this is not a character flaw, it's a disease, and that we can be part of that solution to help people on their journey to recovery.
The day concluded with a 4 p.m. Mass in the chapel on campus. Reporting for Reel to Reel in Chicopee, I'm Carolee McGrath.
Well, thanks to a late game goal and some exceptional goaltending last Sunday against St. John's Prep, the Pope Francis Cardinals hockey team punched their ticket to tomorrow's Division I state championship game at the TD Garden in Boston for the first time in 4 years. Steve Kiltonic caught up with the team this past week as they prepared for the big game.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Our Lady of Victory, pray for us.
Father Jonathan Reardon led the Pope Francis hockey team in prayer before boarding the bus for the D1 state semifinal at the Tsongas Center on a University of Lowell campus. The opponents of the number 4 ranked Cardinals were the defending D1 champions and top seed, St. John's Prep. Pope Francis, 19-2-4 for the season, had reached the semis by sweeping 3 tournament games, the last 2 by 1 goal each in heart-stopping fashion. They were the underdogs going into the match, but were playing with a lot of confidence. Coach Brian Foley, in his 20th season with the Cardinals, said his team was excited about the opportunity to take on the high-flying Eagles.
You know, they didn't fear them at all, and I thought the mindset was good going into that game. That we knew we could compete. We knew it would be a close game. We knew how good they were.
The first period belonged to St. John's as they came out strong, attacking the Pope Francis defense. Cardinal goalie, sophomore Nick Ritchie, was outstanding in net, stopping 15 shots to keep Pope in the game early on.
We all expected it was going to be a tough game coming in, and throughout the week we were pumping it up and we were ready to go for the game. So when we finally got to game day, it was really exciting stuff.
The tide turned in the second period as the Cardinals outshot the Eagles 12-5, with Eagles goalie Brian Cronin matching Ritchie, both of whom stopped 26 shots during the game. Both teams had great scoring opportunities, but no one could capitalize, as the game was still deadlocked 0-0 as the third period began.
I thought our kids played with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and they competed really hard, especially the second and third periods.
With the clock kicking down to under 6:30 remaining, it looked like overtime until the Cardinals made a late push up ice. Here's how Pope Prep Productions' A.J. Gonzalez called it.
Here's Ryan O'Leary. Here's O'Leary. Fresh off the bench, trying to find a man, finds Pesh, that shot, it scores! It scores! It scores!
Sophomore Nick Petkovich described the game winner on a pass from senior Ryan O'Leary.
Well, obviously I was open. It was a little bit of a weird angle, but I called for it. He gave me a good pass, and then I shot it, and they hit off the goalie a little bit, but ended up going in, and it was a great feeling.
The last time Pope Francis played in a state title game was 2019 when they lost an epic 4-overtime heartbreaker to BC High. This time they're out to turn the tables and make history against Xaverian. At the Olympia Ice Center in West Springfield, the Cardinals prepared for the upcoming game against Xaverian, who won the other semifinal by winning in dramatic fashion against Reading.
DiMartino with it. DiMartino, shot, score! Joe DiMartino wins it for Xaverian! An assist to go to Cole LeBlanc.
The two teams haven't faced each other this season, but the Cardinals are excited about playing on the home ice of the Boston Bruins.
Obviously, it's a lot more pressure, TD Garden State Championship, but we're going to play it just like any game. And we know that if we play our way, that no team in the state can beat us or handle us, and we're looking forward to it.
We have to remember to keep it simple, not try and get ahead of ourselves. No one's going to be a hero. We just got to win it as a team, and that's the only way we're going to win it.
I'm expecting a good performance out of them. I think they're ready. I know they're energized, and how can't you be in such a big moment? So it'll be two teams really battling very hard, and I expect it to be another really challenging game.
During the 2019-20 season, which COVID ended prematurely, the Cardinals were named Super 8 co-champions, but never actually played a final game. The historical significance of winning its first ever outright state title hasn't been lost on Coach Foley, his Cardinals, or hockey fans in Western Massachusetts.
It'll be a great honor for the school, First team to bring home the state title, Division I. They'll be proud of us.
Yeah, how are you?
I mean, just like Joey said, it'd be absolutely historic. We got co-champions a few years ago, but that's not good enough to bring home our own title with the trophy and our names on it. It's just a moment to never forget.
And there hasn't been a team in the state, in the western part of the state since 1952, West Springfield High School. So, you look at the history and all the great teams that have come through, and to kind of crack that barrier, of 70 years would be a lot of fun.
Springfield Bishop William Byrne visited the squad after practice on Wednesday for a pep talk and blessing.
Let them bring all they have to the ice on Sunday. Let them bring their brains, their skill, but most important, the hearts of champions that you have put in their chest. Keep them safe, but let them play fiercely, as champions do. And the Lord be with you.
For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
God bless you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. We'll celebrate when we get back after.
And we'll have complete coverage of the championship game at iobserve.org, so check it out. Finally, there will be at least one notable absence at this weekend's St. Patrick festivities: the late Monsignor David Joyce, the Holyoke native and past recipient of the Ancient Order of Hibernians Christian Charity Award and the City of Springfield's 2019 St. Patrick's Parade Marshal, passed away last September. A founding member of the Diocesan Singing Priests group, he joined with that group just 2 years ago to record some Irish favorites. To end our show this week, and in honor of his memory, we share a song he was featured in, Irish Lullaby.
This next song is called The Irish Lullaby. You know it as Tura Lura Lura, and our great friend Father Joyce is going to sing that one.
Over in Killarney, many years ago, me mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way. And I'd give the world if she could sing that song to me this day. When she used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door.
And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. To keep up with the latest news on the Catholic Church and the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, head over to iobserve.org, your source for accurate news on events and issues impacting the Catholic faith. That's iobserve.org. And you can also follow us on Facebook at Catholic Communications. And before we close, all of us here at Catholic Communications send our best wishes to Bishop Byrne's mother, Mary Byrne, who on Sunday will celebrate her 100th birthday. Wow, happy birthday, Mrs. Byrne. And I'll see you back here next week at this same time for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. See you then.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.